Before I hand back to Des Brown to say a vote of thanks, could I just take us back very quickly to Pakistan, which has that rather volatile combination of active terrorism, but also a nuclear arsenal. The death of bin Laden has, I think, tested the relationship between Pakistan and the United States. The United States and other countries are, of course, pointing fingers, saying, sort your act out. Pakistan is then saying, actually, I need help. How can that relationship be repaired, and how do we move forward to make sure Pakistan is able to look after its nuclear weapons and solve its terrorism issues?
Let me start off by observing that, in my judgment, Pakistan is the most dangerous nation in the world. We talk about the danger of nuclear terrorism. If it is to happen, the probability that bomb comes from Pakistan is higher than any other country in the world. If there's going to be a regional nuclear war, that's the likely place it's going to be. So Pakistan, especially from a nuclear point of view, is the most dangerous country in the world. That's the easy part of the statement. The hard part is what the hell to do about it. And I don't have a good answer to that question. I think we have to keep working at it day after day. I don't have a solution to the problem, but we cannot lose engagement with Pakistan. They are too important, not just to the region, but to the whole world, because of the nuclear weapons they have. But that engagement cannot be based on a fallacy. It cannot be based on a lie. We have to recognize the nuclear program. We have to recognize the importance of the Taliban and the other insurgent groups, not just as threats to the Pakistani government, but their infiltration of the Pakistani government. So these are very difficult and serious problems, and we have to deal with them seriously and realistically.
Boss, let me shift to one subject before we close, and that is every now and then you need some hope. There are a number of countries that have given up nuclear weapons, and the problem is we forget them. Those that have them get a lot of attention, and those that give them up, we forget them. Kazakhstan got rid of nuclear weapons. Ukraine got rid of nuclear weapons. Belarus got rid of nuclear weapons. South Africa got rid of nuclear weapons, all voluntarily. Syria and Libya got rid of their nuclear programs somewhat inadvertently, but nevertheless. Also Iraq. So you count the number of countries that have gotten rid of them in the last 20, 25 years, it exceeds the number that have added nuclear arsenals. To me, that's encouraging. Let me give you one other example. Right now in the United States, 20% of our electric power comes from nuclear power, 20%. 50% of the fuel that is burned in those nuclear plants, producing 20% of the power, 50% of it comes from highly enriched uranium that during the Cold War was in warheads pointed at America and our allies. So by definition, 10% of America's electricity, 1 out of every 10 light bulbs, comes from highly enriched uranium that during the Cold War was pointed at us. This goes back to the alt and the is that George used, which I think is so powerful. This really happened, and it is a reality. People would have never dreamed, they would have said it was impossible back during the 1950s, the 1960s, the early 1970s, but it happened. So there is hope. We are making progress, and there are still avalanches coming down the mountain, but we are beginning to find pathways up the mountain. We're beginning to, because of dialogue around the world, to find something like base camp. Before I close.